Hey friends, John here. Welcome back to the podcast Voices of English. In this episode, I'll speak slowly so you can listen, repeat, and practice along with me. So relax, follow along, and let's learn together.
The podcast Voice of English.
Today, we're talking about something very close to every learner's heart, the fear of making mistakes. Let me ask you, have you ever wanted to speak in English, but then stopped yourself because you thought, what if I say it wrong? Or maybe you've wanted to ask a question in class, but you stayed quiet because you thought people might laugh. Or maybe you tried to practice writing, but when you saw your mistakes, you felt frustrated and gave up. If you've experienced this, you are not alone. In fact, almost every learner in the world feels this way. I felt this way too when I was learning a second language. In today's episode, we're going to walk through why fear of mistakes stops learners. How mistakes are actually tools for growth. A simple, daily 10-minute practice plan to reduce fear. Real-life stories of people who improved through mistakes. And finally, some encouragement and motivation because you deserve it. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Fear is like a wall. It doesn't destroy you, but it blocks your way. When you want to learn something new, English, math, music, anything, fear whispers in your ear. What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if I'm not good enough? And because of that fear, many learners never even try. Think about it. How many times have you stayed silent when you wanted to speak? How many times have you stopped practicing because it didn't sound perfect? Perfectionism, wanting to be perfect, can feel safe, but actually it is dangerous. Because if you wait until you are perfect, you will never start. Let me give you an example. Imagine a little child learning to walk. That child falls again and again. But do they stop? No. They get up, try again, fall, cry, laugh, try again. If that child thought, "Oh no, I fell. I must be bad at walking. I should stop trying," they would never walk. We learn through mistakes. But fear makes us forget this simple truth. Now, let's flip the story. Let's look at mistakes in a new way. What if, instead of calling them mistakes, we called them lessons? Think of every error as feedback. It's not a sign that you failed. It's a sign your brain is stretching, reaching, growing. Here's a small science fact. When you make an error, your brain creates a signal. That signal tells your mind, "Hey, pay attention. Something didn't match here." When you correct it, your brain remembers it more strongly than if you had done it right the first time. So in reality, mistakes don't slow learning, they speed it up. Let me share a personal story. When I was first learning Spanish, I once told a shopkeeper, "I am pregnant," instead of, "I am embarrassed." Everyone laughed. For a moment, I wanted to hide forever. But you know what? I never ever forgot the correct phrase after that day. That one funny mistake taught me more than hours of silent study. So the next time you make a mistake, smile. Your brain just got stronger. Remember this line. Mistakes are proof you are trying. Mistakes are proof you are growing. Okay, let's get practical. How can you train yourself not to fear mistakes? Here's my favorite little plan, a 10-minute daily routine. Anyone can do it. Minutes 1 to 2. Positive self-talk. Say to yourself, mistakes mean progress. Every error makes me better. I am not afraid of mistakes. Take a deep breath and smile. This sets your mindset. Minutes 3 to 6, free practice. Speak, write, or practice without stopping. For example, talk about your day in English. Write a short diary entry, or explain a topic out loud.
The rule here is don't stop when you make a mistake. Keep going. Minutes 7-8. Reflection. Ask yourself, which part felt hard? Where did I struggle? Maybe it was vocabulary, grammar, or pronunciation. Minutes 9-10. Correction. Pick just one mistake. Correct it. Say it the right way 3 or 4 times. End with a win. That's it. 10 minutes. Simple. But if you do it every day, you'll notice something magical. You'll stop fearing mistakes. They will feel like normal friends who help you grow. Let's look at some real stories. Language learners. I once knew 2 students. One was quiet and never spoke because he was afraid of mistakes. The other spoke broken English every day. Grammar wrong, pronunciation shaky, lots of errors. But guess what? Within a year, the second student was fluent. Why? Because he wasn't afraid of making mistakes. Public speaking. Do you know the famous speaker Tony Robbins? Early in his career, he stumbled, forgot words, and even got laughed at. But he learned from every mistake. Today, millions listen to him. Writers. Every great author, J.K. Rowling, Ernest Hemingway, produced messy first drafts, full of errors. But those mistakes gave them the material to polish into masterpieces. So the pattern is clear. Behind every confident person you admire, there are hundreds, even thousands of mistakes. Now, I want to talk to you.
Yes, you, the listener. If you feel nervous about mistakes, please remember this. You are not weak. You are learning, and learning is messy. When you make a mistake, it doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means you're practicing English. When you try and fail, it doesn't mean you're hopeless. It means you're moving forward. Think of mistakes as stepping stones. Every mistake you make today brings you one step closer to confidence tomorrow. So instead of running away from mistakes, run toward them, welcome them, learn from them. Because the only real mistake is not trying at all. Don't fear mistakes. Fear standing still. Friends, thank you so much for joining me in this episode of the podcast Voices of English. We talked about fear, about growth, about daily practice, and about real-life examples. But most importantly, we learn that mistakes are not failures. They are our teachers. So, my challenge for you is this. Today, make one mistake on purpose. Speak up. Write something. Try something new. And when the mistake comes, smile, because that's learning in action. Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep overcoming the fear of mistakes. And remember, I'll be here with you, step by step, mistake by mistake. Together, we grow.